Hello everyone, my name is Lucy and welcome to Books and Brushes. So today is my September wrap up. So we're going to be going through all the books I read in September. It's a really good month. I read 6 books, or almost read 6 books, but we'll get to that. So without any further ado, let's just get on into the books. Okay, so the first book I read in September, wow, this seems like a long time ago, but it was Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. At the end of summer, I kind of wanted to, finish off all my contemporaries, which I did. This was kind of like the last one. Plus it was September, the going back to school kind of vibe. Kath goes to university, so since I am no longer a school child or work from the seasonal calendar, thought, I'd get the going back to school vibes from her and live vicariously through the main character. So I gave this a 7 out of 10, which is not bad. I liked it. It was an enjoyable read. It wasn't my favourite read. Contemporary never is. Again, the university thing, it's not like I could really relate. I could relate to the writing and the creativity and her just trying to create something and her drive to do so. But I couldn't relate to the university thing. That's when a book has to be good, because if you can't relate to the situation, then it has to make it relatable for you anyway. So I loved the Harry Potter-esque vibes, what with Simon Snow. That's obviously supposed to represent Harry Potter. It was like starkly obvious, but I kind of liked that. It was fun to see, someone's like kind of reimagining of it, and the excerpts from what she was writing and from the book, and to read about a character who is a writer and have the writings that she's doing and her real life and her own dramas in her home life. I did like the excerpts from Simon Snow, the original and her own fanfiction, but I did have a slight problem. This is where I think the book could have been a little better. And by that I mean, I loved the excerpts, but they just weren't really in context. What I mean by that is you get these little snippets of her fanfiction or the original text, and you're reading it and you're like, okay, and you just go with it, but I never really felt like I could fully see an overview of the story. One of the major themes in this book was, what is yours? When does it become, fan fiction? It's their writing, but it's not your idea, so it cannot be 100% yours. And that was a really great topic, like copyright and ownership and being an artist. I really enjoyed that kind of discussion. What I didn't really see was where the original text ended and the fan fiction began, because it gives you all these snippets and it gives you them out of order. And I wish I could know more about the original script versus how she changed it, because I felt like I was just asking too many questions, like, oh, okay. And because it's so Harry Potter-esque, I was trying to relate it to Harry Potter when I probably shouldn't have. So I was like, oh, so Baz is probably like the Draco Malfoy of Harry Potter, and, Simon Snow's the Harry. Oh, and this character must, oh, and Angelina, is she like the Hermione then? So who's the love interest to this? You see what I mean? And I'm just like, I was trying to riddle it out, and I spent so much time trying to figure out what was original and what was fan fiction and how she was changing it and what the actual story was, and oh wait, this is like the latest book, oh no, this is the early one. And I spent so much time just like puzzling over it that I wasn't as focused on the story of Simon Snow or the story of Kath. I just wish in the beginning I'd have had this is the story of Simon Snow, this is how Kath kind of changed it, these characters relate to this character in this way, and then when I do get the snippets, I understand what context it's in, and I don't have to spend so much time and headspace trying to riddle that out, and then I would probably have enjoyed the story more. So that's probably my negative of this. But the positive was I really did love, like I said, the creative aspect with Kath and the topics it covers. Her home life was pretty exciting, and watching, an introvert really have to come out of their shell, live vicariously, with friendships, and I thought the friendships were interesting. As an introvert myself, like, I don't know if I'm an introvert or an extrovert, but I did really relate to Kath, and I did think the relationships were really interesting and the story was good. A good book, wasn't the best, could have been better, but that's Fangirl, and I'm finally caught up because I'm not, like, late, not at all. So staying on my contemporary kick, I kind of went from contemporary to like contemporary thriller. So I went to One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. Now, this book, woohoo, I liked it a lot. I gave this 8.5 out of 10, super specific I know, I really couldn't decide between 8 and 9, and oh my god, it was so close to a 9. I almost wanted to do 8 3/4. Is that stupid? It's probably stupid. But I loved this book so much more than I thought I would. First of all, this book is gorgeous. Just that colour scheme and the red edges. Woo, you beauty. I absolutely loved the story of this. The mystery was so perfectly woven for me. I kind of predicted things, but not really easily, and it was a slow discovery, which is my favourite with a mystery, because you get to discover it along, and I did predict it. And when you predict it near the end, not quite when it reveals, but like just before, that's the best moment, because the mystery wasn't obvious, so it wasn't disappointing, but you got it right before, and that's always the best kind of discovery to have. Anyway, I haven't even explained. This book is about 5 kids who are in detention, very Breakfast Club-esque. So we have the stereotypical, the jock, the rebel, the princess, the nerd, and the outcast. Very, very classic. But this totally spins it on its head, and in this book, 4 kids come out alive, and one of them is murdered. Da, da, da. And the book is all these 4 kids that were in detention with him, they are murder suspects, and the book is riddling out who murdered Simon, the character who died, how did it happen, and the effect that it has on the 4 kids who are suspects, you know, how they're just thrown into this investigation and all their secrets are just a free-for-all, and we really get to know these characters and fall out from everything that happens. I loved the characters in this. They were all so 3D and in-depth. Their stereotypes were just a title. They were people, and I related to them all on some level, and I loved that. I loved that so much. All these characters were not cardboard cutouts like they could have been. They were so real, and I loved all of them, and I loved the direction she took with these characters. I loved the mystery. I love the different points of views, because we have points of views from all of these characters, and we get to see all of their struggles. We get to kind of understand their motivations and how it affects them. And they all have such different lives, even though they're in the same school, in the same situations. Their specific situations are also different, and I loved it so much. Sorry if the angle changed there, I've had a couple of technical difficulties, but we'll continue. So I was talking about the story of this and how much I loved the progression of the mystery. The book made me feel, and I really loved it so much more than I thought I was going to. My favourite characters were probably Bronwyn and Nate. Really liked that, like what happened there. I don't want to spoil, but I am going to spoil a little relationship detail here, so if you don't want to know, mute it for about 10 seconds. But Bronwyn and Nate's romance, small but it's there. Basically the nerd and the criminal, but it's not the bad boy romance, it is just, it's right. Those two are perfect. Nate is not a bad guy. It sounds so bad. I hate bad boy romances. Cannot stand them. But that isn't it. And Bronwyn is the best. The ending, just everything about this book, and I loved it so much. I thought the plot twist was brilliant, and I loved it, and I could see it when I found out about it. I was like, yeah, it all tracks back. It all makes sense. I predicted it just before I'd said, oh, what if it's this? And it was. So I did predict it, but it was not obvious. And that's such a balance for a thriller to tread, and it done it so well. And I just can't believe how much I enjoyed this book. I remember when I finished it and I turned the last page, and I was so sad. And I was just like, I didn't know what to do with myself. Like, I was just sitting there staring at the wall. My boyfriend was like, are you okay? Just read another one. And I'm like, but book hangover. I can't. Yeah, I bet you all know how that feels. I didn't want to let this book go because I enjoyed it so much. And the feeling it gave me, I cannot wait to reread it. My favourite book of September by a mile. So if it wasn't obvious, I think you should read this book. Recommend. Next up in September, I read Legend by Marie Lu. I finally got around to this. Not like it's been on my shelf for like ever, but it has. Finally got around to it. I bought the new cover, as I've said in a previous video. I have a really ugly edition, bought the new edition, and I finally got around to reading it. Surprise, surprise, I'm one with the book snobs now. Front covers matter. But yeah, I read this book finally, and although I feel like I'm really late to the party, I feel like maybe I would have enjoyed this a lot maybe a few years ago. I don't know why that is. But anyway, Legend, I give it a solid 7 out of 10. Maybe a 6.5 if I was being harsh. But then again, I kind of feel like that about Fangirl now. I'm not sure. I think just One of Us Was Lying was so good. It kind of set everything else a little lower. I don't know if that makes sense. And sometimes after you've read a book, you rate it higher. And then a few days later, you're like, maybe it wasn't that good. But I'm sticking with what I went with. And unless I officially decide to change it, we're going with a 7 out of 10 for Legend. And also this month I read Prodigy. So the first and second books in the Legend series. I'm about to read Champion. I have not started it yet, but it is my next read. So that will be the first book in October. Spoiler alert. So these books were really interesting. I really liked the military aspect and Rebel versus the Prodigy, I guess. Legend and Prodigy, here they are together. This kind of represents the two characters. If you've read it, you would know that. I'm really struggling to hold these, can you tell? I think you can tell. But yeah, I mean, it took me a few chapters to get into these. It starts off so rigid and I'm like, what world is this in? The Republic? Ooh. It's almost sounding Star Wars-y with the Empire, the Republic and the colonies, and I'm like, what is even going on? It took me a long time to realise they were basically the fragmented United States in the future. I finally got that. In Prodigy, that's super clear because they venture more out. But in Legend, especially most of it, I'm thinking this could be a fantasy world. I don't know it's set in the future. I have no idea. But yeah, Prodigy, you can definitely tell that it is, or was, the United States. It seems like so many books, dystopian especially, are like post-United States. I really did like Mary Lou's writing. I like how he jumps between the POV of the characters. I don't know what to say about this one. It's like I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the story, and I can't really think of much else to say on them. They were good, they weren't excellent, but I'm enjoying them nonetheless. I'm struggling to find things about this to say, enough unique aspects of this book to talk about. Yeah, but there's nothing, and that's usually not a good sign for a book. And I wish I had more to say about these. I don't. If you want to know what these books are, read them, or you probably already have. But yeah, I like them, and I'm afraid that's all the commentary I have. I'm not gonna force myself to say something, because I'm afraid that's all I can think of. And this video is going to be long enough anyway. Now those are all the physical books I've read, but I have read one Kindle book this month. It was a reread, and it was Echoes by Laura Tisdale. Finished this last night. I was straining to see by the end because I was up quite late, but I was so close to the end, I had to finish. You know what that's like. I loved it all over again. Start to finish. Like, when I first read this book, I was just like engrossed the whole time, loved it, couldn't believe it, like the story and the action and the mystery and everything that happened, and I couldn't wait to reread it. And now I've gotten around to it, and it was just as brilliant as the first time. Like, I kind of had an inkling of what was going to happen, although I didn't really remember the whole plot twist details. It was so good. And it was good to reread it because I kind of had more of an inkling of what was going on and how the trickery of the plot twist ensues. Oh my god, I love this book. It's a complete 9 out of 10. It's brilliant, and it's not talked about on BookTube. I found this book from like an Amazon recommended thing. I don't even know how I got my hands on this beauty, but it is amazing, and like no one is singing its praises that I know. It's about a teenage girl who is a hacker, and she is basically a math genius. She can hack anything. She is a grey hat, so she's like skirting the law, but it all doesn't seem real because she's safe in her bubble of hacking. It's just her safe space. It's everything she loves, until hackers start going missing, and she could be a next target. And her close hacker friends go down this rabbit hole of mystery and abductions, and she's going to have to be the one to take control and fix it, while keeping her family safe at home and dealing with her pretty tricky home life and her own anxieties and issues that she has to face as well. It's about trust, it's about technology, it's about who you really love, it's about yourself. It's like the story, the mystery is so good, and it's written just beautifully beautifully. Camera problems, I swear to God. I love the main character. Mallory is just so great. Characters of her brother and her dad. I love she has this thing with touch, and it was described so well. And I just understood Mallory, her practicality and her need for control. Like, I understood her and her dual personalities as herself and Echo 6. And I loved Warden. He's a great character. And I love the mystery that's in it. Like, I'm all in with Mallory. I have no idea what's going on and what to predict, because she has no idea what's going on and what to predict. She's just like trying to riddle this out, and the plot twist, you do not see the plot twist coming. Even this time around, I've forgotten really what it was entailing, and it just hit me all over again how clever it was, how weaved in and just amazingly done it was, how exciting and gripping and just exhilarating. I love this book. I love the characters, they're all so perfect, and the story is just amazing, and just read this book. Again, when it got to the end, I was like, no, it's over, no, and I just want to reread it again. Teenage hackers, mystery conspiracies, it's got everything you could want, and I love it. If it wasn't obvious, I think you should read this book. I think this book deserves more BookTube love, and why is no one talking about this book? It's amazing, and it's staying a 9, like a solid, amazing ass 9, and please read it, because it's just 5 out of 5 stars, perfection. Just read it, it's great. And the last book for September is an audiobook that I'm currently listening to, and surprise, surprise, it's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, because it's not like I read those too often. I haven't listened to a Harry Potter audiobook since beginning of this year. Feels like so much longer. I've been slacking. I needed a Harry Potter reread. It's September. It felt like too long. September is the going back to Hogwarts vibes. Next month will be the Halloween. And then December it's going to be all Christmas. And to be fair, all year round is Harry Potter. But this season especially, I think, screams Harry Potter. And I needed a re-listen of the audiobooks. I had to have it. I had to have it in my life. I've got a Harry Potter quiz coming up soon. I'm so excited because I'm a little bit confident. A little bit. I'll let you know how that goes. And I am on chapter 15, so I've only got a couple chapters left. I've finished it, so it will definitely be finished by the time September is over. And that makes 6 books for September. So even though I haven't quite finished it yet, I will probably finish it in the next day or two, way before September ends. So it will be a September read, don't fight me on this. So I haven't read it yet, but it will be read by the end of September. Fret not. And those are the 6 books I read in September. It was a great reading month. I read loads of books. 6 is a really good number. I'm really happy with that. Fangirl seems like so long ago. Read One of Us is Lying, which is one of my new favourites. Like, I really enjoyed that. I got to reread Echoes, which is another favourite. I'm re-listening to Harry Potter, The World is Good. I'm happy, and even though Fangirl and Legend of Prodigy were probably less good and they were just in the okay range, I still knocked them out of my TBR. I'm pleased I've read them and I know what the fuss is, and I've checked that. That is done. It just feels good to get that off. And next month is Halloween. It's October. Spooky books. I haven't got enough spooky books, but I'm actually earning money for once. Yay! I have actual spending money to spend on things that are not bills. It's really fun. I'm going to be able to buy some books, so I'm just so excited. I've got money to spend on books. I don't know what to do with myself. Really pleased with September's reading, and I cannot wait for October. So thank you so much for watching my September wrap up. I hope you had as good as a reading month as I did. Please let me know down in the comments what your favourite September read was. I make videos every Wednesday without fail. Really proud that I'm still doing this without fail. Go me. Please like and subscribe and comment. I really want to have a chat with you guys in the comments, and your interaction just means the world to me. I'm never going to be a super booktuber. I know that. I know I'm not the first to do this, but I'm enjoying doing it, and it's almost like a video diary to me to, you know, be able to talk about my feelings on these books, and I'll be able to revisit them and remember and just hold all those memories to heart in a visual representation of myself. Really enjoying it. So, but please interact with me, because it does really, really mean a lot to me. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.